Namaste and hello everyone. Welcome to yet another episode on Careers Beyond Degree. Today's the kind of podcast where I got to learn so much from our guest speaker. She has pivoted careers. She's got so much in-depth marketing knowledge that I was like, I want to apply for this job. And I literally told her that during our interview. So if you're somebody who's recently pivoted careers, want to enter marketing, or want to understand why you're not getting a job in the marketing industry and what's really going on in the UK with marketing field, then stay tuned and keep watching. Hi, Pooja. Thank you so much for coming on Careers Beyond Degree. It's a pleasure, and I am very excited to know more about you. But before that, I'm very sure the viewers would love to know who you are, what you're doing, and why you're here. So let's start with introductions then.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me. So, a little bit about me. I'm Puja. Um, I'm originally from India. Right now, I stay in the UK. So, I was an international student. I did my master's from University of Surrey, and then I started my marketing career. And right now, I am a content creator. I'm helping other international students get into marketing, and my entire page is all about living abroad, making people who are living, like making the lives of people who are living abroad a little bit easier from someone who have done it, and also helping international students to navigate the marketing industry and to land jobs in marketing, because it's a very exciting industry to explore. Yeah, that's all I'm doing at the moment. Before this, I was a computer engineer, so I completely changed my career from computer engineering to marketing, which was quite a shift. But yeah, I'm really enjoying marketing.
What was the reason for the shift?
To be honest, while I was at uni, I was sort of a very creative person from my childhood. So um, it's not like that I was not enjoying computer science. I did enjoy it. However, while I was studying, I was working with my dad as well, who is into network marketing business, and I used to help him with event management, organizing big events, and that is something that I really loved, like doing the fun part, doing the creative behind it. And so I decided to give marketing a try. I had zero experience about how to get into marketing, what are the different like roles that we have in marketing, but I wanted to do something creative. So while I was studying, um, when I completed my bachelor's, I was like, my professors told me to sit for campus placements because apparently I was a good student, uh, even though I did not enjoy computer science much. But I did not sit for campus placement, which was a very bold move. Um, I was at home for around 4 to 5 months. Um, and then initially, I thought that, I made a really great decision of not applying to campus placement. But then I started regretting it because I was seeing all of my friends going into offices and they're enjoying. But then when I speak to them right now, I feel like I made the right decision because after around 6 months or so, I landed my first entry level marketing job. And from there, I learned a lot about marketing. And because it was sort of a startup, but not really startup. So I did a lot of the work behind building that brand. I worked there for a year, and then I thought of, let's do a proper education and let's do a master's in marketing. So then I came to the UK to do a master's.
Right. And it's a huge career pivot. It's not easy. I completely understand that because I've kind of had a career pivot where in my high school, I knew that I wanted to join the IAS services.
Oh.
And then eventually I thought I'm going to do the United Nations. And I studied for that. I did international relations. And then I jumped into a fintech startup. So it was like you go back to nursery and then you're starting from scratch and doing everything all together. So,
Yes.
say if somebody wants to switch to marketing, they don't know what it is, what would you recommend them? Like, not like advice per se, but how do they prepare themselves for this shift in their career?
I would say that marketing is an industry which is very creative driven. So if someone who is really fascinated about marketing, so for example, if you go on TikTok and Instagram now, everyone want to enter the marketing industry because it's apparently a fancy world, because it's a social media world and everyone is on social media right now. So if you are someone who is very fascinated about the industry but really not that creative or not that passionate, then this industry is not for you, to be
Right.
honest. But if you're someone who is very creative, so for example, if you like painting, if you used to paint when you were a child, and then when you like interacting with people, when you like, um, when you're studying, but then your mind is like, this can be done in a different way. So when you have a different perspective for everything in your life, for example, even if you're going for a walk and you see a swan in front of you, you think, there's a different perspective, there's a different storytelling that is there behind it. So if you have something behind your mind all the time, that I want to do something creative, then this field is perfect for you.
Right.
However, if you want to enter the marketing industry, you do need to understand the different aspect of it. um, that was one of the major mistake that a lot of people do in their early career, is that they don't understand what marketing is and what are the different sectors or different roles, because social media marketing is different, campaign management is different, event management is different. So you need to really understand what calls your name. So if you're someone who really like arranging events, or then you should go for event management. And then if you are someone who is really into social media, um, who really likes the social media trends or is always informed about what is happening in social media, then social media management or social media marketing is good for you. So really niche down what you like as a person, because if you enter the marketing industry, you essentially are not building a career, but you're building yourself as well.
Right.
So you should always go in the field that you really are passionate about. So niche down the type of industries. Right now we have a lot of tools available, so you can actually know which one calls my name, and then niche down the companies that are doing great. It's not, um, everyone thinks of joining the best company when they're starting their career, but uh, marketing is a field which is there in every company.
Hmm.
And you need to really understand which industry you want to be in. So someone um, who is really passionate about tech, or someone who is really passionate about skincare, for example,
Mhm.
they will think in different way in terms of the copy, in terms of the campaigns. So you need to understand, first of all, the role, and secondly, the industry you're passionate about, and then start your job hunting, I would say. Yeah.
Right. And when you shifted careers, do you think, like when you look back today, do you think that there were any skills that you learned back then with your engineering that you could apply to marketing in any way?
Yes, definitely. When I was studying engineering, it was very analytical,
Right.
and I was working with a lot of data. I was working with, like, I was doing a lot of data analysis, and in my research paper also, I was working with a professor. Um, it sort of helped me because one of my research paper was around, like, Facebook, and how someone's perception, like if someone is looking at a particular post, what are their logical thinking behind that particular post. So it was essentially social media. However, my research paper was in the tech side of it. So when I was doing it, I already had that in my back end, that I want to shift towards marketing. So I chose a research paper which was something that I could easily show on my portfolio,
Right.
because that is a transferable skill. in marketing, a lot of people think that, doing video or photo, doing photo shoot, this is essentially the skill you need, but you also need data analysis skill. You
Hmm.
have to have uh, you need to have the patience to work with a lot of data, because every day you are checking analytics, you're checking impressions, likes, comments, which one is performing better, how to do the back end analysis and then create an entire campaign out of it. So I think one of the biggest skill that I took from my engineering to marketing is data analysis.
Hmm.
And that was a really great skill to have, because a lot of people who uh, want to enter the marketing industry, they essentially build that after they get the job.
Right.
But when you have it already within you, it's easier to, you know, land that role. Yeah.
No, I'm glad because sometimes I feel, especially with the career pivot, like my dad sometimes still asks me, when will you get a job? So, I mean, he does understand the concept of entrepreneurship, but he did, like, very recently when I was in India, he did ask me, so what if you come back? Where will you get a job, and where will you get a job? I'm like, why are you so worried about me getting a job? But you know, I've left all of that behind and I've kind of entered the startup space or doing my own thing space. But then he asked me another question. He was like, even if you get a job, then what industry, like, what kind of a job would you get? And if I had to then pinpoint my skills, I would say that during my international relations masters, I kind of picked up the skills of research and I'm really good at it, which really helped me when I started my startup journey, because I had to go back and learn all the ABCs, and I couldn't do it if I did not have it in me to research things, if I did not have it in me to, research the basic of things, which a book would tell you, but then still, you cannot just go into something and I would not know even basic words like what an MVP is, or what exactly a startup is, or what really makes a beta testing, things like that. So I think
Yeah.
I got really good at research skills, which I then used in my startup journey in the last few years, and it's helped me with my podcast, it's helped me with my startup, it's also helped me with any other business that I've worked on, if I've like collaborated with someone and in that. So I think sometimes it can be very, very daunting to move careers, but it's also important that everyone realizes that there are some skills that you can take and then use it
Yeah.
in a new industry and not feel like it was a waste of time, because that's the kind of mindset people tend to get into, especially if you've got that coming from your parents, no, that, oh, you wasted 3 years in that, oh, you wasted 5 years in that, what were you even doing now that you want to do this?
Yeah.
I think it's important to realize that you might have picked up some skills in that industry wherever you were, and maybe use it for the next steps, whatever it is. Tell us
Yeah.
about, yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I do understand what you're saying, because right now a lot of my friends who I studied with, they just, like, in a joke way, they would just tell me, why did you do your degree in computer science then? Why did you waste your 4 years? Why did you waste so much of money? To be honest, I think it was not a waste of money. It was not a waste of time, because when I was there, I did study a lot of stuff, and because I had a tech career, I in the UK, the first job that I landed was in a tech firm,
Right.
but in the marketing team. I was not essentially coding, but I was promoting that particular product. So how it helped me is that when I was building a particular email campaign or LinkedIn campaign, if something is not looking right, I could easily go back in the back end and do a little bit of HTML editing, and then uh, make it prettier
Right.
in the marketing perspective. So that was one of the skill I could easily talk about on my interview, that the reason I am applying for a marketing, like tech marketing role, is because I have a tech background.
Hmm.
So I think the easiest way for someone to switch career is go within that field but in a different role.
Yeah.
That is the easiest way. However, if you want to completely change to some other industry, then the easiest way is to analyze at least 5 to 6 brands within that industry and what they are doing at the moment, and put it as a case study in your portfolio, so that you can easily show the change why you are entering that industry.
I think that's a very useful point for anyone who may be looking to switch industries, because I have spoken to students who've come here. Especially the burden is more when you're moving countries, because you're thinking about all the money spent, all the effort done, and whatnot. And you've come all the way from your home country here, and suddenly you realize, I don't want to do this. In,
Mm.
back in 2022 or 1, I think, I met someone who was literally just 19. He was doing engineering and he came here. He was doing some similar course, and then 6 months later, he's like, I don't want to do it. I want to study business. I was like, what are you going to tell your parents now? And then he goes like, I'm going to speak to them. Thankfully, parents were very supportive. He failed his very first all round of essays. So he just knew it's not something he wants to do. And then
Mm.
now he's come back again to do a business degree. So I'm really happy for him, but I'm sure he must have learned something then as well, even
Yeah,
if it was little from that particular degree. But this kind of advice will be very useful for anyone who, after a point, feels like, well, I'm in the wrong place. I need to move now.
yeah.
So that could be good. Tell us a little bit about university. How was life at uni for you? How did you feel when you first moved here? And how did it all go for you overall?
Oh, my time at university was amazing. I came here like around 2.5 years ago.
Right.
Um, I came here with my partner and my brothers, and we were fortunate enough to be studying the same university. So we planned it around. It took us around a year to plan everything, but then we got all of us got placed in the same university, in the same business school, because we all wanted to do study business, but in different fields. So, for example, my partner did business administration. I and my brother did marketing. And when we landed in the UK, we were very excited. We were like, new life, new country, and everyone dreams to be in the UK, dream to be in London, and everyone see that on social media, and they are like, I want to be there. But when you are here, so when we came here, we literally knew no one. Because I have seen a lot of my friends who are living in the UK right now. They have someone, like some relatives, some friends who were already staying in the UK, and they could essentially take advice from them, or you know even so, like small things like you don't have accommodation or you don't know where to stay, but you can still stay with them for a couple of days and figure it out. We were completely different, like we had no one here. So what we did was completely by ourselves, and that taught us a lot. So when I left home, um, I was a little kid, to be honest, in terms of I didn't know anything. I never went to the kitchen. I never went out without my parents. I never, I never like went in a public transport without my parents. Like knew nothing. And when I came here, it was so different because you know when you are Indian, when you are an Indian kid, you are so much protected by your parents, and you essentially don't have to do anything back home. And when you are here or when you're outside your comfort zone, then you see the world in a different way. You essentially have so much of freedom that you can do anything, but you don't know where to start. That was our case. So we figured out everything. Google was our best friend. We did everything. We starting from looking for accommodation to where to buy stuff, like where to buy cheap stuff, where to get food, cheap food. Then we made a lot of friends in uni, and I am so glad that in the UK, we have a very beautiful community of international students who are there for each other,
Yeah.
which we essentially don't see back home, because here everyone is learning to be a new person,
Mm.
and the other person will be very happy to help them. So I had a really amazing experience at University of Surrey. The course was amazing. The professors were really good. I'm still in touch with few of the professors who watch my LinkedIn post, and they feel really proud. So the amount of connections, or the amount of friendship I built in 1 year was incredible. I am still friends with my um, with everyone I was staying with. So in our student accommodation, we were staying with around 15 people,
Right.
um, all in the same hall, and we used to cook together. We used to go out together. It was really fun, and I'm still in touch with all of them. Um, but everyone is in different cities. Some people went back home, some people are staying here, some people went to different country, but we all are in contact. So that was really amazing. And after university, life was hard because when uh, a lot of students come here with a budget, like you have taken us education loan, you have that budget in place, and once you're done with your education, that entire budget is zero. So you essentially build from scratch, and that time was really difficult.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that helped us all is that because we three came together, we could, you know one of us could help the other person. So if for example I don't have a job, then my brother could chip in or my partner could chip in, and vice versa for all of the others. So that was really helpful. So I what I suggest to all of the students that I talk to is build a really good connection here. If you don't have anyone, you need to essentially have some friends who will always be there for you, even if something goes wrong. So that is really important, to find your own community outside home.
Yeah. No, I think that's the most important thing because if you come here and if you don't have friends, firstly, you're settling into a new weather, you're settling in with new people, you might have different kinds of flatmates, and just leaving family, that's also
Very hard.
so taxing. Like, I was fine, but I know people who cried every single day. I personally know someone who went back, I think within the first 5 days.
Oh,
He could not handle it over here. I mean, I don't know the person directly, but I heard of him that this has happened, and I spoke with him to make him understand that, listen, give it time, be calm, things will get better, and the weather will get better. I mean, it wasn't gonna, but I was at least making him hopeful about the whole thing. But he could not stay, and then once you're calling home, crying and whining and everything, his mom said that just come home, we can't see you like that. And that's the obvious reaction, obviously, because when you
yeah.
see your loved ones crying there and not feeling settled in, it can be very, very hard. I've heard so many stories that when you come to uni, people have not found the weather really suiting them and whatnot. So
Mm.
in the beginning, if you make the effort to speak to people, get to know others, and just find your clique somewhere where you
Yeah.
can chill out with them, even if it's in your flat or somewhere, I think that really helps as well. I think even for me, I am an ambivert, and I'm great when I'm out, but then I need my space as well, and then
Yeah.
I just completely block everyone out. And in that phase, I think the two girlfriends that I made very early on, they kind of reached out to me, so I always had that safe space to talk, to chill, to go out, to even go out for a walk and order food. Or if I started to cook new things, they were the first ones I would call and say, come, I've just tried making dal. I've just made rice for the first time, because even I did not know how to cook when I came here.
Yeah.
So a community really helps overall with your experience here as an international student.
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very much true. When I came here, that was the first feeling. Like I was like, I want to go home. I don't want to stay here. It's really difficult because first of all, it's the first time that we are away from home. We are missing our parents. We're missing our friends back home, and everything really. It's so different. Uh, but I think if you take that first couple of months and take it as a challenge to build yourself, then you can overcome anything. Because what I feel is every international student have a superpower, and we have seen so much that we like throw us anywhere, we will be okay with it. Is because that if you are having anxiety, if you are not feeling okay, the worst thing that you can do is call your parents and tell them that you're not okay, because you are not okay, but your parents are feeling the worst. With us, because both my brother and me, we both left home at the same time, so our house was entirely empty.
Oh,
And my parents were really, really sad. But we knew something in the back end that, if we call our parents and we tell them that, we are not feeling okay, uh, then I mean, it is going to be really bad because they're already suffering a lot. When we came here, my brother was really sick. He was bedridden for more than 3 weeks, and I did not even tell my parents that he was sick, because I don't want them to, be worrying about us all the time. So they visited us, like they just left a few days back. They visited us for 2 months, and I never told them where I used to work. I used to work in a restaurant. I used to work in a pub. Or I never told them. I used to work in a takeaway and stuff. And we were just walking through London, and I just, like, my partner showed them, we used to work here. And my parents were so shocked. I was like, you used to work here? Like, yeah, I mean, it is something that I can't deny, but that is what built the person who I am today. So essentially, a lot of international students, they tell everything to their parents, which is not a good thing, because you're just building your life. You can share your feelings, you can share uh, everything, but you can't really cry in front of your parents when they're away. That's what I feel. um, yeah, and building your own community, it does take time. Like, as I said, everyone here is very different. Everyone is coming, even if we are all from India, for example, everyone is from different parts of India, and their culture is completely different. So finding that space where you know your own people, like, you are not going to be someone. I am a very introvert person. I don't really talk to a lot of people myself, which is completely opposite because I do social media. but but when I am very frank with someone, I talk, like, I tell my heart out. So it's like that. You need to be open towards conversations
right.
uh, with strangers. And once you are okay, like, people will talk behind you. It's all right, but you start the conversation, you'll find your person.
Would you give any tip to people who find it hard to trust strangers?
I would say that, you know, everyone, like, it will happen that uh, you trusted someone and they broke your heart. But if you if you only have this perception, I can't talk to anyone because they might break my heart, then you can never talk to anyone. So one tip would be just go to your classroom and see, like, people like you who are sitting alone, um, who are not really like talking to other people around, and that might be the person who is like you. So you can just go and talk to that person. Um of course, if you will be very, like, lovey-dovey, then it might be a different story. But for people like us who are introverts, you can just check around your classroom and see who is similar, who is sitting alone, and that person might be your friend.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Especially for introverts, you can just find people who are probably seeking corners and not speaking to
Yeah.
everyone openly, and then find them and say, "Hello, I'm one of you. Let's get together." That's nice.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
lovely. You mentioned content creation, and we're aware you are a content creator. What motivated you to start content creation?
As I said, that I was a very creative person since childhood. So when I was doing computer science, like, when I was doing my bachelor's, um, I was in a engineering college. And if you see typical Indian engineering college, no one really uh, think of doing something different. They would just wear the same thing every day. They would come to the class. They would study hard, do everything, get get good grades. um, I'm not saying that's bad. That's something which is the culture which people do. I was the complete opposite. Like, I, from the very first day, um, I used to dress up really good. I used to go to college with high heels, which was really a different thing for engineering girls, because um, I used to very different my class, and it was a lot of people bullied me for that, because I used to look different. I used to dress up different. I used to do my makeup and stuff differently. But so I stopped it for a while. I stopped everything for a while because I wanted to make more friends. But then in that process, I realized that I'm losing myself, because that's what I am. Like, I like to dress up. I like to do that stuff. That's what I used to like. So uh, I continued that, and one of my friend back at uni, she told me that, why don't you start making videos when you're getting ready? And I'm like, I can't do that because I'm not that confident to go in front of the camera and get ready in front of the camera. But she really, really like pushed me towards content creation, and essentially I started with writing blogs, like writing about fashion tips and things, writing stuff and not putting my face out there. But then slowly I started making videos. I started making makeup videos. So I started with makeup videos around 8 years ago.
Right.
And I saw that a lot of people really liked my content, in terms of how different I was doing it. So I was not doing the regular smoky eyes. I was doing very crazy stuff like graphic liners and stuff, which was not essentially the trend that was there in India. So a lot of people really liked me. I used to do live sessions every Saturday with one of my follower, and we used to do makeup together.
Okay.
And it was just crazy. People really loved it, and they those are the true followers who are still following me, by the way, and I still talk to them. Uh, that is where my content creation journey started. But after few years, I shifted my niche to fashion. I started creating fashion videos, like get ready with me videos, and styling one particular things in different way, and I really enjoyed it at that point of time. So you as a person, we evolve a lot. So that is what I was liking at that point. And then when I came to the UK, I connected with a lot of international students, and I saw that space, like that gap, what we have. We were looking at people who on Instagram who are like, who have the best, or the most aesthetic feed. They are they're showing the best part of their life, but they're not essentially showing what is behind it.
Right.
And so I started creating content for international students who are struggling. And I started showing a day in my life as an international student. So that way, and few of my videos went viral. Like, I got 2 million, 1 million views within 7 days. And I was like, dude, people are really connecting with that. People really like people who are just their self, and they so my essentially my role was to just show people what is behind everything, because when I came here, I knew no one, and I wanted to help people who are going through that same phase. So that's how I started building my network, in terms of students who are already here, or students who want to come here and they are not finding their people, they're not finding their community. So I completely shifted my niche from fashion to lifestyle and educational content. And then because I was in marketing, after I completed my marketing course, I landed my first job. Then I switched to another one, and then I switched to my recent role. So with all of these jobs, I learned a lot about the job market here in the UK, and I wanted to help people who want to get into marketing, who are currently like international students, who are maybe doing something else and want to enter the marketing industry. And so I combined both of them, and right now my content is basically helping international students navigate abroad life and also helping people who want to get into marketing.
Wow, that's
So
amazing.
it's a long journey.
Has been a very long journey, and it's so nice that you did not give up. You always found a different niche and you kept going because you understood that there's potential in it. And I always feel that every experience is unique and there is something to learn from everyone you speak to, even if it's the smallest of things. And looking at yours, sometimes I wonder why things take so much time.
Yes, yeah.
You just, when you look at somebody the first day, for example, if you're looking at each other the first day, we will not realize that you've had this longer journey before you came here, and how much you had experimented with different things to finally realize this is what you want to do. Yeah, so I feel that when you speak to a lot of people, and you find out about their journeys, you kind of realize what all they've gone through and where they actually started and how much they've experimented and found out and figured out about what they really want to do. um I started off personally with not showing my face as well. I wasn't confident enough to come on the camera. So when I had my first Instagram page, I would ask people to come on it and speak on different topics. So that was my starting point. And from that to today, it's been, I think, about 4 or 5 years now. And I had different focuses. Like, I always wanted to help international students and whatnot, but then there has been different aspects of it. Like, first my focus was only finance, and I was like, I don't know too much about finance, let me shift to something else. But through this journey, through our experiences, at the end of the day, we only feel very fulfilled when you're giving back.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking to other students, you must feel like, I need to help this person, or they might not know something, let me share that with them. And we kind of always think in our heads, because there was no one to help or guide us, or this is what we did not know, let's make it better for someone else. And
Yeah.
it's so fulfilling then. Like, sometimes I'm on the verge of saying, I'm not going to do content for the next 1 month, I'm done with it, nothing's happening, forget it. And then out of nowhere, I get a text from someone saying, whatever
Oh,
you're doing is amazing, please keep doing it, I watched that video of yours or this video of yours, and I would have forgotten about that video. And honestly, like, it's something that I would not be looking forward to. It would be so random, and I'm like, but just yesterday I was crying, I don't want to do it, and today this person has given me so much motivation to still keep doing it. And I think that's kind of my motivation to keep showing up every single day.
yeah.
What motivates you to, like, keep helping international students?
As you said, that when you hear about different stories, you get really inspired. For me, it was kind of similar. I did a lot of switch when in my content creation journey, uh, but I feel that even if I am right now working in social media, but I am working under a company, and essentially there are rules, regulations. Like, you can't really show your true self, or you can't really uh, show the amount of creativity you have within you when you are working, for example. But for my page, I want to do everything that I have within me. So when I switched from beauty to fashion, I lost a lot of my followers. When I switched from fashion to educational content, I lost a lot of people. But then these kind of people who will slide into your DM and tell you that, I am really inspired by you. I'm like, you get so lost, like, how did I inspire you? You sometimes question yourself that, what did I do to inspire you?
Yeah,
But then these people, they are inspired by something. They have seen something within me that inspired them.
yeah,
And that is why I keep pushing myself towards content creation, because that's right now I feel like content creation is a part of me and it will never go out of me.
Yeah.
Because I have built my community. I have built a community of people who is there for each other and who helps each other irrespective of anything. And that is the real motivation. And I would say that one of the biggest motivation is my parents as well, because when I was back home, I started my content creation journey that time. So essentially, it's very difficult to make your Asian parents understand what this industry is, because they don't have any idea about it. But for me, I kind of uh, sat them down and I told them what I'm doing. Like, this is what I want to do, but this is not going to be my career, but essentially it is going to be my career for the entire life. And they couldn't understand at the very beginning. However, they saw that, I'm very passionate about it, in the sense that even if I'm free on a Saturday morning, I would wake up at six o'clock and I will film content, edit that content, and put it out there. So they saw the dedication that I had for this, for content creation, and they helped me in that. So when I used to film at home, and my mom would be in the kitchen, she would be cooking something, and she would make sure that she's not making that much of sound, that so that I can film content. So even without knowing that what I am doing in the room. So that's the kind of motivation that I got from my parents, because they always have been the best supportive parents ever, which a lot of people don't get. I'm very blessed to have parents who are really supportive. Um, and right now, initially, when I was doing this fashion content, when you do fashion content, you get a uh, bit out there, and parents might not like it. So I blocked both of my parents on social media. Social media. And they used to see that I'm in my room doing something, but they didn't know what I was doing. But they used to see that brands were sending me stuff, and I'm doing something with them, but not knowing what I'm doing. Um, but then when I came here in the UK, I am following all of like both of my parents now. And when they see my content right now, they will just scroll all the way down and see everything, but they're still proud of what I did.
Right.
Because right now they would just go to their friends, colleagues, aunties, uncles, and they would just proudly say, this is what my daughter do, and she is really good at it. One more thing that really helped me, is because I'm in the marketing space. A lot of the jobs that I landed was because of my social media presence. Because I already had a personal brand and I was experimenting with a lot of different content style, because I shifted from a different niche: beauty, fashion, education, then lifestyle. So I was experimenting with different type of content on my own page, and that essentially became my life portfolio for landing marketing jobs. So um, a lot of the roles that I landed was because of my online presence. So if someone is looking for a marketing role, is interested in the marketing role, and they are really expressive and they want to do something in the creative space, they should definitely start content creation, because that is going to help them, not only on their personal page, but that is going to help them to land a very good job. So I right now work at a university, and that I remember a very funny incident. I was not funny. It's something very grounding. So my university was in Guildford, which was University of Surrey, and then I moved to Reading, and right now I work at University of Reading, and essentially my entire audience is either in Guildford or in London,
Right.
but there is no one in Reading. Like, that is what I know for sure from my analytics, that there is no one here. So I was within the campus. I was at work, and I was just going somewhere, maybe to film some content or something. And there was a girl who just called my name. It's like, Pooja, but she started shouting my name. And I looked back, and she just ran towards me, and she was like, I watch your videos. I follow you on Instagram. It's like, oh, okay. And I was so shy because I wasn't expecting that. And she started talking about why she follow me, and she had been following me for a while, and she was shocked that I work in the same university that she's studying in. And she took some advice from me, and then she told me, I also want to start content creation, but I never really got the courage of doing it. I was like, girl, you should try it once. If you fail, what is the worst that is going to happen?
Yeah.
You'll just cry for a day, but then you'll just keep on doing it. So I'm hoping she started content creation because I really encouraged her to just go out there and start it. Because if you don't do it now, when will you do it? I feel that you shouldn't push yourself down to start something. At least start and see if it works out for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, content creation is fun and it's really rewarding.
Especially when you have incidents like these, when people come and recognize you, I think you feel like on top of the world.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And it's happened to me a few times, and I was like, whoa, they know me. So it's very
It's a bit embarrassing at first, because when I was at Surrey, I used to walk towards my lecture, and some people would just come to me and they would just say, "You're Pooja, right? I've seen your videos," and because they're also student in the same university, and they essentially know where I stay, what do I do, and everything.
yeah.
And I don't know how to react sometimes. But then when I go back home, I recall that incident, and I feel so blessed. It's like, oh, this is what I started it.
Yeah, it makes you feel so nice and so warm. I remember one time I was so my friends had come down to the restaurant and I was just going to see them. I had my meal, but I was just going to say hello. And just next to that table, there was this girl sat there, and I had just come in walking in my PJs. I was like, it's going to take me 2 minutes to say hi, and I'll just come upstairs. And I went to say, and then she goes like, "You Shivika." I'm like, I'm sorry. I follow you. I understood, okay, she's probably she knows me through my social channel. And then I met her, and then I was like, it was it was a bit awkward. Like, you're out there socially, but then when it happens to you, when you are there with your friends and you're like, I mean, you're there for the attention. Obviously, you want people to watch what you're doing, you want people to learn from you and whatnot. But when you actually get that attention, you become like small. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, where should I hide like that? It's a good
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, I
Process
sometimes
it.
feel how to say hello. Should I hug them, or should I shake their hand? What should I? I mean, it's a
Yeah.
bit awkward because essentially we're just talking to the camera,
Mm,
and we don't know how many people are watching us.
yeah.
But when we meet them in person, it is awkward.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people will get offended because sometimes you just don't want to be in that space when you are with someone, or when you are at work. Uh, there was an incident when I was at work, and we had this student who I was training in front of my team, my managers and everyone, and she started saying like, I follow you. I was like, okay, okay. So it's very awkward when you are in that social space and someone says something like that, but it's so rewarding.
It is definitely rewarding. Yeah, it makes you feel just beautiful. And you just feel like, I'm going to go home and make 10 more reels, and I'm going to post everything that I know, and I'm going to post so much value for everyone. And it just makes you feel good. So you mentioned about the fact that through your content creation, you want to help people who want to do marketing, and you help them find their path and find their journey. And I'm sure you must have consulted so many students and so many professionals so far, but so much has been changing in the UK in the last few years, right? And you are well aware that it's hard finding jobs, it's hard finding and landing jobs. even if you have a marketing degree, what's your opinion on what's going on? Do you still recommend students to come and study marketing in the UK, despite the fact that there's so many graduates who probably find it hard to find jobs? According to you, like, it's multiple things, and you can just give me your opinion on what you think overall in terms of what the UK is doing, that graduates are not getting job, and then they're doing petty jobs, or they're finding roles in different industries despite loving marketing. What do you feel? Do you still feel UK is the right place to do it? And if they're not getting jobs, then what would you recommend? Do you think there's some personal reason you've kind of identified with multiple people that, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong? What is the overall opinion from your end?
So, if you ask me, a lot of students who want to come to the UK, they ask me the same question. And I have two sides of the story. One is, if you would have asked me the same question, maybe probably 1 year ago, I would say definitely come to the UK for a master's degree. But right now the situation has changed. Government have been not really kind towards international students, um, and there are new rules, regulations that are not in our favor, I would say. But there are still scope. So what I would say is, if you want to study marketing, then you should definitely go for a university who have a good business ranking.
Right.
Because I see a lot of students who just want to come to the UK, and they would go for any university. And if you do a business degree, marketing degree from just any university, there is no value to it. You'll be just spending money and nothing else. But if you do from a good university, then there is value, but not totally. Marketing is a field which is not education driven, but skill driven.
Right.
What I mean by that is, when you're studying marketing, it's very important to learn the skills, learn the corporate skills that are in the market at the moment. So you have to build a network of marketers who are doing it, maybe the right way, bad way, doesn't matter, but who are doing it and in the field, and you learn a lot from them. So just doing a degree in marketing will never help you to get a job in marketing, because I have seen people and worked with people who have no, like, essentially they have no degree in marketing, but they're still working in marketing because of the type of skills that they have developed.
Right.
Um, what what I recommend to students right now is, uh, if you study marketing from a good business school here in the UK, it's not it's not necessary to stay in the UK to get a good job. Because if you have a degree from a UK university, from a good business school, you can go to any other country and explore marketing opportunities, because that is going to set you apart
Right.
from doing a business degree from India, because you have an international exposure. But if and it the tips to get into marketing would be same for all the countries, I would say. What I have noticed is that, firstly, you have to build the skills, the soft skills, because marketing have a lot of soft skills like writing skills, communication skills. Then there would be like presentation skills. Analytical skill is something which is a bit technical, but you have to have that soft skills. So, and these are the skills that anyone can build if they want to build. There are some typical softwares that you need to learn. Like, if I talk about very like basic softwares like Canva or LinkedIn Navigator or something like Google Analytics, Meta Ads, all of these are something that you can learn online. There are a lot of courses, free courses, YouTube videos that you can learn online. And once you know all of these basic skills, then you can build up the advanced skills like CRM systems, Salesforce, all of these technical skills that is going to help you to land better jobs. But if you're looking for that first entry level job, then the soft skills and um, how you present that in a case study format in your portfolio is really essential. I have done so many analysis of like so many CV reviews and portfolio reviews. I see a lot of people who want a job in marketing, they don't have a portfolio. They are just looking for a job with a CV, which is never going to help you land a marketing job, because everyone will have a CV. Everyone, and in a CV, what can you show? Like, you can only show your experience. You can only show the skills that you have, the software that you know. But if you don't have any experience in marketing, if you have worked in finance, if you have worked in operations or HR, then what skill will you show, or what experience will you show in your CV? You can't really show anything. But if you add a portfolio, then you can show what you can do instead of what you have done. So in a portfolio, you can do case studies of different brands. You don't necessarily have to work there, but you can analyze their current marketing campaigns. You can analyze the influence. So right now, influencer marketing is a big thing. We don't do any celebrity endorsement anymore. So influencer marketing is a big thing. You can analyze the kind of influencer marketing that the particular brand is doing. And it is also industry based. What I recommend to a lot of students is that pick at least 3 or 4 niche that you're really interested in. Niche is essentially the industry. So if you're interested in beauty industry, then pick a brand that you are really passionate about and you want to be working there. So analyze their, like, treat it as a project that we usually do when we are studying. So analyze their market value, their current their core skills, the kind of vision they have for the next 10 years, and where they see their brand to be going in the next 10 years. What are the latest campaigns they launched? Who are the people that they are collaborating with at the moment? And after analyzing that, if you put that in your portfolio, that's not going to be it. You have to do something extra. Like, for example, they have launched a particular product and they have created a campaign out of it. You think that you can launch a separate product within that campaign. So treat is as if you were working there. Like, suggest that this particular product would be great for that campaign, and you build the entire product vision using, like, if you just have started, use Canva, or if you know how to use Photoshop Illustrator, use Photoshop Illustrator to build that entire campaign, including the strategy, the email marketing, the people that you will be tapping in, the target audience, all of these, and put it as case study in your portfolio, so that um, even if you don't have experience, the marketing manager or the marketing director who will be seeing your portfolio, they know that the potential this person can bring to the table, even if that person don't have any experience. So having a marketing portfolio is the best way to stand out from the competition. And then there is, like, everyone talk about networking on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And the very first mistake that a lot of international students do is they will just go on LinkedIn, connect with people, and the first message that they will send is, I'm looking for opportunity, I'm looking for sponsored job, to HR or to a marketing manager. If you put your foot on the shoe of a hiring manager or marketing manager, and if you are waking up with a message that I want a sponsorship job in your company, will you be replying to that message? No. You'll just see that message and you'll be just going with your day. So networking has to be done the right way. And what it means is, basically, you have to connect with that person, like, see what they're posting about, see the kind of niche or the industry they are passionate about, what they are posting at the moment, and then talk about that subject, um, and slide into their DMs and talk about that. I saw your post here and I'm really interested about this. Let's talk more, and always end with an open-ended question within that particular topic. And there is a higher chance of them replying back to you, because they see that, this person is really interested in what I am seeing on LinkedIn, and let's just talk to them. So once you start talking to them, the best way is to hop on a call with them for maybe 5-10 minutes, just to talk about the marketing industry, what is working, what is not working. And this is a long game, but this does work in the sense that if you are if you have done a coffee chat, or if you have done a Google Meet with someone, and then that person, and then you keep on engaging with that person on LinkedIn, keep on like treat it as a friend, treat her or him as a friend, and just keep talking. Like, don't go overboard, but just keep talking about interesting stuff which is happening in marketing industry at the moment. And then when there is an open position, you can just ask that person to know more about the position, and if there is something that they can help you out with that particular role, you can then send your CV to that person, or then send your portfolio, because you have already built that connection and relationship with them, and they know that this person know about the marketing industry, and this person would be a good fit for our team, and they will be very much happy to give you a referral. If you talk about job market here in the UK, it's difficult. A lot of people are leaving UK, and I would say that if you find better opportunities outside UK, even if you have done a master's in marketing here from the UK, go for it, because you want to work in the marketing industry. It doesn't matter where you're working. If you're getting good paid, if you are if you're in a team which is very collaborative, who is very supportive, and who is not like, I've seen a lot of managers micromanaging. So if you end up in a team who are not all of these stuff, and they are really supportive, then you shouldn't just think about staying in the country. A lot of people just think about, I need to stay in this country, and that's the reason I need a good job, or I'll just apply to only this country. So you have to make your research. You have to do a lot of research yourself, and find out the countries who are who are looking for international talents. And because you came from India and you did a master's here from the UK, and you have sort of experience here in the UK, not necessarily in marketing, but you know the international dynamics, there will be a lot of companies outside UK who will be ready to hire you. So don't just keep applying to the UK market, because uh, there are far good opportunities outside UK if you don't find something in the UK. But start with UK, start with your own own city, own industry. And also, marketing is a sort of a field. You don't really have to work for a particular company. You can work as a freelancer.
Yeah.
So what it is a lot of people think it's a complicated process. You have to sign in as a freelancer, you have to pay your own taxes, but then once you learn it, it's easy. So if you want to build a marketing experience, you can just go on a walk in the particular city that you are in, see the kind of cafes or restaurants that are around you, and just go talk to the managers, see if they need any help to promote their brand on social media. And if they need help, then you can just easily work for them, and they will be paying you less compared to a full time employee. But if you take 2 or 3 clients in a month, you'll be earning exactly the same as a full-time employer, and you'll be working less hours.
Yeah.
So don't just keep your mind closed towards just having a full-time role, or just to be in the UK. Keep your opportunities open, and explore different opportunities out there. You can even start with cold emailing small brands, startup brands, who you can work for with a less, who don't have a good amount of budget, but they want to build a social media presence. You might have to do some free stuff here and there, but because you're in the UK, the advantage here is no one is going to pay you less than the hourly rate, so if you have 2 or 3 clients, then you can easily earn good amount of money.
No, that's some gold advice that you've given, and I'm going to quickly summarize it. That be active on LinkedIn, post about the industry you're working in or you want to work in. That's something I advise as well, because sometimes I get LinkedIn profiles wanting to connect, or even students or professionals, and they haven't even updated their LinkedIn with the most recent job. And I'm like, how are you even looking for a job when you know this is one of the most important things? And
Mm.
I feel people want it easy, but if you want something that you really want, especially in a different country, you have to go out of the way. You
Yeah.
have to be posting on LinkedIn. You have to make that extra effort of, even if it's one post a week, do some research, write your opinion about the industry, or even the case studies and the portfolio advice that you've given. I wasn't aware of it, but I've seen someone send me that and I was amazed. I literally wanted to work with that person when I saw that. So I received
Mm.
like about 5 to 7 different CVs for a role I was wanting to recruit for an intern. And this particular person sent me her entire portfolio. And I was like, whoa, that's nice. And the way it was presented, the way it was done, it was amazing. And I feel that kind of gives you an edge over other applicants who are only sending their CVs or who are sending half written emails, or not even checking their emails if they're right or wrong, if they've even completed their sentences or not. Small things like these. I would love to ask you one question, which is, if you had to say three things that any marketer needs to have in their portfolio, like one, two, three, what should those three things be?
I would say number one is, there are a couple of things actually. Number one is having a good about me section.
Right.
So don't just go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you a about me section, because if you copy and paste that, essentially it's going to be the same for everyone, because it's AI. So you have to tell a story through your about me section. So you are writing about yourself, but you have to write it in a storytelling format, so that if a marketing director is reading through your portfolio, they know that this particular person have copywriting skill.
Right.
You can ask ChatGPT to polish it, but you have to write the main copy in a storytelling format, not in a, I have this much of experience, my skills are this. And that's cliche. Like everyone is doing that. You have to stand out differently. And this is a good way of showing that you have good copywriting skills, because copywriting skill is something that you should be having if you want to enter this industry. And also, one of the main advice is basically having good case studies. If you're entering uh, tech industry, but all of your experiences are in beauty or fashion,
Yeah.
then what I would do is I would create two at least two case studies of tech.
Right.
I would put that case study on the very as the very first case study on my portfolio, and then I would do all of the other case studies in the bottom. But the kind of industry that I want to enter in, I will have to have some case study uh, in that kind of a field. So case study again, and the last would be to, uh, I mean, this is very general, but a lot of people don't do, because I've seen a lot of portfolios. I've seen people are not doing this. They are not linking how a hiring manager can reach out to them. What I mean by this is they don't have a proper footer. A proper footer should have your name, your email address, the city you are in, your contact details, and a hyperlink of your LinkedIn. And if you have a social media or a personal brand online presence, then your Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're comfortable with. Um, and so that the hiring manager actually can reach out to you, and they don't have to search for you on LinkedIn, because if I were a hiring manager and I have to search for you on LinkedIn, that's a tiring process. I would not spend my time doing that. So you should have that on the footer of your portfolio, and also hyperlink your CV to your portfolio, That is also something a lot of people don't do. Um, what else? Uh, Case study section is a place wherein you can show the kind of skills that you have. So don't go deep into writing, but show what you can do. Like
Right.
if you're talking about a particular campaign and you're just writing that, this is the things I will be doing, but you're not showing what you will be doing. So you have to have a lot of visuals at, because marketing is basically a lot about visuals and a lot about copywriting as well. So show what you will be doing. There are plenty of templates on Canva that people can use. So many AI tools like Mid Journey who can create case studies for you, can create this high definition photos, videos, learn a little bit of Adobe like Premiere Pro or Illustrator, and do a little bit of campaign, do something visually and put it in that portfolio. You might have created a very good campaign, you have a very brilliant idea, but you're not showing that what you'll be doing, then there's no point of it. Yeah.
Right. Well, that was very, very useful. I think this advice is going to go like crazy because I don't know if anyone else explains it so well. It's like I'm ready to apply for my marketing job tomorrow. Almost like that, honestly. And something that I would like to go back to when you said that don't be too stuck up about the fact that you have to apply a job here just because you've graduated from here. That's again
Yeah.
something that I always say as well, that people become so stuck up about the fact that, I've graduated from here, I need a degree here, I'm going to make the amount of money that I've spent in this country. Even that kind of an opinion exists. But my
Oh
idea
yeah.
is that why don't you believe in the fact of supply and demand and what industries are actually working in the UK? You can't be saying that you want to work in a field where the UK is not looking for any employees. And then if you're feeling dejected and if you're feeling hopeless and whatnot, then you're just not doing enough research or enough homework before you start applying. I
Exactly.
always tell the same thing, that look outside of the UK as well. It's not the end of the world if you have to go somewhere else and start from scratch. But people find it very, I don't know. I mean, I from my opinion, I feel if you started here, you can start anywhere. It has been a very difficult journey. So if you
Agree.
made all of that effort and you're fine right now after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, wherever you will go, you'll be fine because you've done it and you've experienced it. So be confident in yourself, and if you have to make that move, make it. If you're finding a job in Canada someday, or maybe some part of Europe, or maybe some part of the US, don't be disheartened thinking that, first of all, don't apply, as in like thinking that, oh, I won't get it, let me not apply for it. And then the
Mm.
second thing, that if I've spent here, I'm going to take it out from here. So people need to
Oh,
really get out of that mindset, I feel.
yeah. You're absolutely right saying about the mindset. Um, I speak to a lot of international students who say the exact same thing. I have taken an education loan of some amount, and I want to take that money out of this country, which is a very negative thing to be even thinking of. Because, see, if if you need to understand which country is welcoming towards your field, and do a little bit of research in terms of, you want to work in marketing or you want to work in tech, whichever field you want to work in, you have to do your own research and see which are the type of countries who are welcoming international talents. Because if you essentially only apply to jobs in the UK, the kind of skills that you have, you might be very much welcomed by another country with the same skills, and you don't have to be working in some other, like, you don't have to work in other jobs or day jobs or night jobs, whatever, because you opened your mind towards a different country. um, and I say this to a lot of people is, spend 6 7 months applying to the place that you're staying at the moment. If you don't get a job in 6 7 months, even with, like, you have to be really dedicated towards applying for job, treat it as a full-time job, that you will be waking up in the morning and you'll be applying to this many jobs, and you'll be like changing your CV for every different jobs, make it ATS friendly, use a portfolio, reach out to people, like do all of these. See if you don't end up a good job within 6 months, then that is your call to look for jobs outside the country.
Yeah.
Because you have done all of that, you have done everything, you have done networking, you have done uh, like you have done your portfolio, you have done like you are applying with the different CVs, making it ATS friendly, you have done all of that. What I feel is a lot of people don't do all of these and they just start crying. um, I feel if you do all of these, you can easily get a job within 2 to maximum 3 months if you do all of these and take it seriously. But even after doing everything for at least 6 months, if you don't end up anything and end up getting any job, look for the same job in another country. Don't be very fixated about just staying here and taking the money out of here. I mean, that's a very negative thing to even think of.
It's the wrong way. You're starting on the wrong foot, basically. If you come here and think that 1 year uni, I'm going to take all the money back to my home country, so then you're doomed.
Yeah.
So thinking like that. Well, amazing. This was very, very insightful. I was literally like, I felt like I'm out of uni and I want to learn more and more and more. So let me keep listening. So it was that useful and insightful. Thank you so much for that. Any final thoughts for any graduates, any of your followers, any people who feel inspired by watching you, or anyone you feel maybe struggling? What would your final thoughts be for someone like that?
I think if you are an international student, first of all, don't compare yourself with the people that you see online, because most people are not showing the real struggle behind it, and our story is completely different than people who are native to this country, because their struggles are different, our struggles are different. So try to find a community who will understand you and who will be essentially be your next family out of home. uh, so build good networks in terms of like have good friends. Don't be shy to go talk to a stranger. Like talk to a stranger, that person can open huge opportunities for you. Even if you're going to a cafe, even if you're on a train, be a little more out there and talk to people. So that's a great advice. And secondly, don't be very fixated about just staying in this country and just like only look for jobs in this country. If you don't find anything good here, look for other opportunities. There are so many countries who are looking for people like you. So and also a lot of people, if they don't get a job here, they end up going back home. Don't do that. If you want, if you like the freedom, like if you are missing your home a lot, let put it this way, if you're missing your home a lot, if you think that you will be having a great career back home, definitely pack your bags and go back. But if you think that you will not be having a great career back home and you will not be essentially growing as a person that you will be growing outside home, then be open towards other countries, because you have taken that first step to just go out of home and come to the UK. You can take the next step as well. So be open to that, and don't just network within this country. Try to network outside as well, and that is going to open up a lot of doors. And if you want something, you have to really work hard for it. Don't use the same CV or don't use the same cover letter for every jobs you're applying. So I believe in quality rather than quantity. If you're applying to 50 jobs with the same CV and same like exactly the same strategy and it's not working out for you, try applying to 10 jobs, but do it intentionally. Like do it the right way rather than just like keeping the volume up, that's going to end up with a rejection email every single time. So yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. It's been a wonderful, wonderful conversation. I absolutely enjoyed it. And thank you so much for your time as well this evening, especially on a weekend. We're usually doing stuff over the weekend, but thank you so much once again. How did you find it? Did you enjoy yourself?
Oh, it was amazing. It was very insightful. I learned a lot about you as a person as well, and how you navigated life abroad. And I always like to connect with people who are going through the same struggle, as I said, who know what we are going through. So it was really insightful, and I think this episode will be very useful to a lot of international students, or a lot of people who are feeling lost and they don't have the motivation to pull themselves out there. So yeah, it was really insightful, and I really enjoyed it.
I'm glad you did, and so did I. And once again, thank you so much for everything that you shared, for all your life lessons, experiences, especially the gold that you shared about marketing. I think that's what I'm most excited about, that the amount of information that you shared through your experience. I think it's not out there. And anyone who wants to venture into marketing, it's kind of my interest area as well. So I'm sure they will find it super, super useful, and they will find their direction in a much, much more informed and better way. So thank you once again.